Hey, James Vint here from Lubbock, Texas, coach at Estacado High School, where I'm the offensive coordinator. And over the last month or so, I've been traveling throughout the country speaking at Glazier Clinics, something that I've had the opportunity to do for about 15 years now. And uh, of course, I talk about offense and defense and RPOs and all that good stuff. But my favorite topic to talk about is building character and culture with the Real Man program. And I had an opportunity. I was speaking on that program in St. Louis, and a coach actually took a picture of one of the slides, which I have up on the screen right now, and he posted that slide. And it's impactful. And I've had literally hundreds of emails in the last 24 hours from coaches asking more about the Real Man program. I've had texts, emails, direct messages. I've had coaches from as far away as Brazil and Czechoslovakia reach out to me, and I've had coaches from just down the road saying, I want to learn a little bit more. I've had some guys say, hey, I'm using this, but I'd like to see how you're using it. I'm going to give you a little bit of background. So the Real Man program was developed by a guy named Frank DeCoco. Frank was an energetic, passionate coach who cared deeply about the kids that he worked with. Frank was developing this program when I met him, and he sent a copy out to me, and then ended up sending it to a lot of coaches. And I used it when I was a head wrestling coach, head track coach for girls and boys, when I was a basketball coach with girls and boys, used it in my classroom. Frank had a foundation that he had started called the Hope Foundation, which stood for helping other people excel. And Frank used that foundation to impact young people. He was taken from us far too soon. He passed away a few years ago, and his parents had reached out to me as someone who used the program and asked me to continue his legacy and speak about it. So I've had an opportunity to do that. This slide tells all you need to know about the value of coaching and why every level of coaching is so important. 17.4 million young people are growing up without a father. 43% of children live without their father. And then you can see where that tends to lead. That is something that we need to figure out, not only as in athletics, but as a society, of how can we change, number one, those statistics at the top so that we can change the statistics at the bottom. We have a lot we can do in athletics to be able to break some cycles here. And I think that's where everything comes in. So before I'll share just a couple things with you real quick. The first thing I'm going to share with you is that this premise that we're talking about here everything we believe starts with unconditional love. What we do as coaches is about unconditional love. And the definition of unconditional love is we love you as much on your worst day as we do on your best day. We don't love you for what you do. We love you for who you are. We don't love you just when you make a big shot, hit a home run, throw a strike, score a touchdown. We love you just as much when you miss the big shot, when you throw an interception, when you get in trouble in school and get ISS, when you cause a problem because you don't know how to behave the right way. We love you just as much. We're going to embrace you just as much. And we love you enough to hold you accountable to being the best version of yourself. You know, when we talk about building character, we say, your talent sets the floor, your character sets the ceiling. Your talent is the lowest level you can be, because without character, your talent never rises. So once we can build that character in, and that's what we use the Real Man program for. Now, there's 1,000 ways that you can do this. The biggest thing that I want coaches to understand is that if you need a resource, it's there. And that's what Frank did with the Real Man program. I'm not a smart enough guy to be able to come up with all this stuff on my own. So I reached out to Frank, and his materials helped me immensely as a coach. What does it stand for? Well, first, the R is respect all people. Respect people not for who they are, but because of who you are inside. Second, especially women. We have to learn as young men how to treat women, and young women how to treat women. Third, always do the right thing. Do we know we're going to make mistakes? Yes, we will, but the goal is to make decisions that'll help us to reach our dreams. Is what I'm about to do going to take me closer to or farther from my goals and dreams? If it's going to take me closer to, then I need to do it with exuberance. If it's going to take me farther from, I need to think twice. And if I think twice, I probably don't need to do it. And then finally, we need to live a life that matters. And that means once you become successful, you come back and you give back and you help others to do that. So when Frank developed this program, He developed a couple of different workbooks that go with it. There's really 4 workbooks. I like the 2-minute drill. And back when I first started using this several years ago, I'd give it out to the team and we'd fill some things out. Now we don't do that. Now I take the topic out of the book and I take the premise of it and I write 2 or 3 little bullet points on an index cards and we introduce it. And then we break into some small groups and we'll talk about it in small groups for 3 to 5 minutes. And then after we talk about it in small groups, we'll come back together as a big group and we'll do this over a 3-day period. What happens when you put guys into small groups, they start to get to know each other a little bit better. If you have teammates and you don't know their name, or if you're a coach and your players don't know each other's name, how can they possibly care for each other? You have got to get them to learn more about each other. Investing in this, yes, you may take a little bit of time from some other things you're doing, but does what you're doing on offense or defense or special teams really matter if your players don't care about each other? That's what we talk about. Is our job is to love our players unconditionally. Our players' job, they need to love each other unconditionally. They need to be able to care about each other, and before they can do that, you have to have relationships. As coaches, you must take time to have relationships with your players. You must get to know them on and off the field. There's only one way to build a relationship, and one way to build that love, and that's TIME. Time. You've got to spend time away from sport with the guys that you work with. Using the Real Man program will help you to be able to increase the success of your players on and off the field. You'll have less discipline referrals. You'll have more kids that are getting better grades. You'll have more opportunities for them to be able to continue their education, whether that be the military, whether it be college, whether it be trade or technical school. You'll have less players getting into trouble, meaning they're at practice, meaning they're around the coaches more. This just a basic little overview. I've had so many people reaching out just from that one picture, and I wanted to be able to share that with you in 5, 10, 15 minutes a day. If you don't do this, do something. What are you doing to help your players to be able to grow to be the best men and women that they can be? What are you doing in the classroom to help young people to be the best they can be? And here's what I'm going to tell you from a classroom perspective. You have to be able to, I was an English teacher. When I was teaching in an English classroom, I spent a lot of time getting my students, helping them to learn to be better readers, better technical readers, be able to mark up text, be able to answer questions, be able to use text evidence. I spent a lot of time with them, helping them to be able to write sentences, write paragraphs, write essays, perform research papers. But here's the deal. Why not have them write some things like this? Why not have them read materials that'll impact them as a person? For example, I'm going to roll through a couple of these deals right here. What determines what kind of man are you? What defines you as a man? What defines you as a person? And we could talk about these things. We can go through and talk about the myths of manhood and have them read these excerpts, these stories. And now we can take them through and read about, we use different stories of people who faced adversity in their life. And you never know when that story, that story that you've read, that you've written about, will impact someone. Every single day we have a chance to help young people to be able to grow. I'm going to leave you with this thought. Many young people, all they hear is negative talk. They won't believe in themselves until they know you believe in them. It's very, very easy as a teacher, as a coach, to see the worst in people. But that's what they get every day when they leave our rooms. Our job, our sole mission should be to find the best in every single young person that crosses our path. Every one of them has some talent, some greatness inside. We have to help them find that. We have to be able to help them find that passion and purpose that they have, because once you find your passion and purpose, then you get to live your life and you get to live it with excitement every single day because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So many people go through life miserable. They might have money, they might have a nice car, they got a nice house, but they're miserable because they're not doing what they truly love. That's what we have to do as educators, as teachers, as coaches. It doesn't matter whether we're at the youth level or we're at the college level, the NFL level, high school level. We have an opportunity every day to see the greatness in young people. If you're looking for a program, for some material that can help you, the Real Man program is phenomenal. Shoot me an email, coachvent@gmail.com. and I will find a way to get you this presentation, which will give you some more information. And at the end of it, there's a phone number you can call where you can order any of these materials. Whether you order this, whether you do something else, you must do something. Every day you have a chance to impact every single person you come across. Find a way to make that the most positive impact it can be, because you are making an impact. It's either positive or negative. But if you intentfully work to make that positive impact, you'll impact people in a bigger way than you can ever imagine. I hope that this gives you a little bit of insight into the program. And remember, today could be the best day you've ever given the people that you come across. Thank you.